Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome back to my channel, Ask Jimmy Smith. Today, I'm excited to be kind of coming to you with a different style of video. I mean, yes, I'm talking to the camera, same as normal, same background, all of that, but different style because I'm talking about just a topic that I feel was placed on my heart to discuss just openly. Typically I am going to be doing trainings and I've got things planned out and I'm talking about these particular topics, but this is going to be a ramble or a rant, and hopefully, prayerfully, this is a logical way of going about the video. But I would love to hear your feedback on it. So leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. If you liked this, you can email me, do whatever. But I would love to know your thoughts on this particular video, kind of more of an open, straight to the camera, face-to-face, open heart type of a video. So actually, I might as well mention this as I always do. There's always a contest running on my videos. If you leave a comment below, you can win a book or a copy of my book, Side Hustle to Full-Time Income. Tune into the next video to see if you're the lucky winner. We pick a random comment and hopefully you can win. But specifically today, I wanted to discuss how Amazon selling and entrepreneurship changed my life in so many ways, and really the reason behind the things that I do what I do. I started this YouTube channel as a way to answer questions for people that had a bunch of questions for me that I couldn't just keep typing over and over. But my heart behind all of this is that I know what it feels like to be somebody that hates their job and just doesn't like getting up to go into work in the morning. And after college, I was in a role for a few years, and I transitioned to another company that had me in the same role of selling insurance. And I did this for a total of about 5 years. And while I had some freedom in selling insurance, I just didn't like having to bend the knee, so to speak, to make sure that I was always there on time or early, or doing the things that they wanted me to do, missing out on family events and friend events. And yes, I know there's importance, by the way, to being on time and being early. I hold myself to that standard as much as I possibly can. But having to do it because a business was paying me to do that just didn't feel like that was the best course of action for my life, because I felt like I was ultimately being controlled by somebody else who had a different schedule and a different agenda than me. And ultimately, I remember the point when I truly decided I can't do this anymore. And it wasn't because I had to be on time or early. It was because I missed an event. And there was an eclipse. I can't remember if it was a solar or lunar eclipse or the difference even. But it was a once in a lifetime or once in a couple decade type of an experience. And I had to watch that out on the parking lot with my coworkers. And while that was great, we got a break, we got to hang out and do that, I missed that with my family. And I realized if I would miss that with my family because of my job, I'm probably going to miss, in the future, if I were to have children, I'd miss their sporting events, or I'd miss something else because of this job that is going to get in the way. And while it was a small event for a lot of people, some probably have never even thought about it again. For me, it was a very impactful thing. And I had already had this side hustle of selling on Amazon just because I was looking for a way to get out for a long time. But that event is what caused me to want to quit and want to get out as soon as I possibly could. And it sticks with me today, 7, 8 years later at this point. And so it's pretty crazy to think back on how impactful that one eclipse was in my life. But entrepreneurship provides that way out. And specifically, Amazon provides a way for people to get in on the ground floor, build a foundation without much risk. Yes, you can fail, but ultimately, it's not risking tens of thousands of dollars if you start with replenishable products and those methods that I teach on this channel, that we've seen so many success stories from. And if you have $0 to start on Amazon, or less than $100 to start on Amazon even, look at selling on eBay. There's a ton of videos on this channel on eBay, so I recommend doing that as well. Ultimately, Amazon and eBay and flipping products provides a way for people to make a few $100s to start having the motivation to grow that into a full-time business and a full, time way of making money, making a living, but also not just the money aspect. That's important, but that's not the most important. What's most important is the time with friends and the time with family, the ability to create generational change because you decided to make the decision to jump into into entrepreneurship, that is a decision that has ripples onto multiple generations after. If you have children that are watching you build a business and taking care of not just your business and your home, but also taking care of employees and other team members, those children many times will grow up and have that influence in their lives and either be entrepreneurs themselves or tell their children about how their parents were, and technically the children's grandparents were entrepreneurs and did these things. These can have ripple effects, not just for your kids, but also maybe for an employee's children. Those kids that get to know you because you're the people that employ their parents. Like this can have so much more impact than we ever even realize. And I think a lot of times we get into a place of wanting to succeed, wanting to grow and hit our next goal and have this much money and X, Y, or Z, but we forget about the true impact that we have in the thing that we spend the most amount of time doing in our lives, which is working. We spend the most amount of time doing that. And if you're an employee, you know that probably more than if you're a full-time entrepreneur. And I'm saying that because the weight of being an employee that doesn't want to be one feels so much heavier than being an entrepreneur that is enjoying doing that. And that's not to say that entrepreneurship is not hard. It is very difficult. And by very difficult, I just mean the weight of having to support and constantly keep up with things is difficult. However, it is the most secure thing in my viewpoint whenever you compare entrepreneurship and being an employee. Because as we've seen with multiple different events in recent years, employees can be fired immediately, they can be furloughed, they can lose their jobs at the drop of a hat. Whereas an entrepreneur, yes, you can have difficult times, you can even have your business shut down because of different events happening. But as an entrepreneur, you get the ability to pivot and to change into other things. You can see things coming a lot of times and make those changes early. And the times that you can't see coming, you ultimately, something completely changes, the whole business goes away. You can make that change and start doing something else right away because you have training, you have learned, you have employees, you have a bunch of knowledge that you didn't have 5 or 6 years ago when you initially started the business. There's so much opportunity with entrepreneurship. And I truly believe that selling on Amazon and flipping products on eBay and other marketplaces is the best place to start for people because you don't have to put out thousands and thousands of dollars to make it work. You do have to put in a lot of time, but you can test small and you can grow. And we've seen thousands of success stories. And by the way, I recommend joining a group of sellers that truly care about you. And the best group out there is free. And it's called the My Silent Team Facebook group. It has over 70,000 members. It's running 10 years strong at this point. I've been in it since I started in December of 2015. My Silent Team Facebook group. You can get access to it at bit.ly/MST group. The link is below and in the description. And the reason I recommend that is because it is a community unlike any others. It is one that I have served for a long time and I help moderate now, but I started as a member and people care. We care about each other. People answer questions nicely almost all of the time. Yeah, sometimes you'll get one-off, snarky responses just because we're all human and that happens. But I've been in a lot of different communities and the best one out there that truly cares, that has success stories that can back things up is within that My Silent Team community. And so check that out with the link below and in the description. Also, if you're somebody that is trying to get out of their situation or you're trying to get into retirement comfortably or leave a legacy or whatever your goals are for your business, and you're really doing this because you want to succeed, a lot of times coming at it from a place of the feeling of desperation leads to bad decisions in courses that you decide to purchase or people that you decide to follow. And so I highly recommend vetting all of those things. I have made bad, rash decisions on thousands of dollars for courses because I was desperate for a particular thing to work, or because I really just wanted to see that succeed, or I wanted to prove it to myself, or I just wanted another stream of income, but I did not vet the person. I did not see the reviews that they had online. I did not even go and check to see if they had success stories that could be backed up by hundreds or thousands or even dozens of people. I didn't go and look at the red flags that course was pushing and promoting. Not everybody online that does a course cares about you. And I hope and I pray that that people see that I care and that my silent team community that I recommend cares, because we've seen success stories and we've seen people come through. We've seen the struggles that people go through and ultimately succeed with, and it's just a beautiful thing to see. But we've also seen failures, and by failures I mean people that start it and realize they don't like doing X, Y, or Z, and they just give up. And that happens. I can't say that the community or even looking at the videos that I put out there will always help you and make you a success. But it is something that the people within these communities do care. So make sure whomever you are following, even me, anyone on the internet, that you vet them properly and check out the courses, check out testimonials, see if they have a free community where they're giving away value, that other people back up the methods that they are teaching. And just realize that if you are someone looking to get out of your job and you're trying to see how entrepreneurship can change your life, don't make decisions from a place of just a rash place, a place of difficulty. Make the decision because you've looked at all those different facets and seen that other people have succeeded, see that this person has a heart that cares about the success of their community, and see that they have some longevity behind them, that they've actually done these methods. And I know as a YouTuber, I get accused of, at different times that, oh, I'm just another YouTuber trying to make money on YouTube. And hopefully people know that that's not why I do YouTube. I do it because I want to answer questions and because I see this as the best way to get content out to the masses without having to always charge for it or something. And so anyway, I'm rambling now. I told you this would be a little bit of a different video. Let me know again in the comments below what you think of it. Or you can email me. I don't care about the algorithm that much. You can email me instead of commenting. But I do want to leave you with one thing that maybe I should have led with this, and maybe I'll make a particular video specifically about it. But it's impacted me quite heavily over the last few days. And now I am a Christian. I am somebody that I've talked about this on different videos. I had a podcast that I did for the longest time that's still technically up and going. I just haven't done a video for a while. It's called Biblical Business Leaders. Again, no new content coming out as of right now. In the future, maybe. So I just want you to know that my background for doing this and for selling on Amazon and for trying to serve in different ways, the way that I do it is because I fall back on my Christian beliefs in a lot of different ways. But one of the cool things that I learned recently is this post by somebody I don't know. It came up on my feed on Instagram, and it's from Ian Simpkins. But it says, do you know the first time the Bible says that someone was filled with God's Spirit? Now, if you don't know this next thing, I believe this is a very important thing to learn about kind of the Bible and how to read it in the Old Testament. And it says there's a hermeneutical, you might want to look up how to spell that, a hermeneutical method that some use called the principle of first mention. It essentially asserts that the first time a word, phrase, or concept is used in Scripture is significant. So, who was the first person the Bible describes as being filled with God's Spirit? It wasn't Abraham. It wasn't Moses. It wasn't David. I'll give you a second to think about it. I didn't know the answer, so don't feel bad if you don't know. It was Bezalel. And most likely, you may not remember Bezalel. And he wasn't filled with God's Spirit to preach. He wasn't filled with God's Spirit to prophesy or to govern. He was filled with God's Spirit to create. Now, Exodus 35 says he was filled with the Spirit of God with wisdom to make artistic designs, cut stones, and engrave wood for the tabernacle. It turns out God cares about creativity, and I think that's fascinating. So, from the very beginning of this story, God invites us to join him in the work, creating and cultivating, dreaming and implementing, constructing and ordering. And for me, this is a very impactful thing to learn because it says you were created by a creator to create. And as entrepreneurs, as people, we were created to create. We were created to be entrepreneurs and to serve others. And as the leader, actually, the original founder of my silent team community and the current, just a current mentor and friend of mine, Jim Cockrum says, it's impossible to run a profitable business without dramatically impacting the lives of countless others. And we do that best by creating, by pursuing entrepreneurship, and by serving other people. And to me, everything that I've just talked about is why entrepreneurship and selling on Amazon and how it has changed my life, and really, hopefully, prayerfully, changes the lives of everybody else watching this video. You were designed to create, you were designed to succeed and to impact others and to serve other people. And yes, success can look like multiple different things. It's not always money. Success can be, how do you impact your children? Do you show up to those baseball games? Do you make it to those eclipses and not miss that because you're with your coworkers? And I understand not everybody can get out of these situations now, or even in the near future. But if you start building towards that over time, through the failures and through the hardships, you will see things move and change in a positive direction, even if it's difficult. And we've all experienced difficulties in different forms. And I hope that you understand, and believe me whenever I say that if you push through those difficulties and your focus is on serving others and impacting the people in your life, then things will turn out for the better 9 times out of 10, if not more than that. So I hope that this video helps you and blesses you. Let me know your thoughts on it. I know it's a lot. It's not a typical video and not, anything popping up all over the place. But just please let me know your thoughts. And I hope this video helps you and blesses you. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a blessed rest of your week.